Hi everyone, I'm Patrick Campbell from BMC Software, and today in this Hangout, what we're going to talk about is Agile monitoring. And we have with us today Seth Paskin, who is our Solutions Marketing Manager, and we have Gene Walsh, who's with us. You can see them down in the corner. And what we're going to say is with TrueSight Pulse monitoring, you can have in place a pretty industrial IT solution where you're monitoring applications, you're provisioning resources to monitor the full IT stack, okay, of all your infrastructure and applications. You have, in IT operations, you can typically have event management, right, and you've instrumented this environment and you're responsible for it, and then all of a sudden one of your initiatives in your organization is that you want to provide agile monitoring, so something that will help developers get started right away. And just to explain the scenario, in this scenario, what we're saying is there's a very robust industrial IT monitoring solution in place for a revenue generating application, and you have an initiative, and let's say it's a stock trader application. So the stock trader application has been running for years essentially. They've found out recently that by creating a special algorithm for quoting, they could generate some more revenue with a smart quoting feature, and it's going to be rolled into the web pages that users are going to be accessing. So this team says we need monitoring, we need it right away. They've hosted their infrastructure in AWS, okay, and they want to do a self-service SaaS approach. So they want to get monitoring. I'm sure they could go for like freeware or set up that monitoring. But what we're saying with TrueSight Pulse is that you can provide to them this agile monitoring where they can sign up and get started right away. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to have Gene tell us a little bit about what he's been hearing about in the field about agile monitoring. So Gene, tell us what you've been hearing.
Well, thank you, Patrick. So in a lot of the discussions that we've had with our customers, they're looking for something that's just very easy and painless to set up, but they also want something that's intuitive, easy to use, and something that they can easily train their staff to use. And so Pulse really fits the bill for them because it's very customizable, it's very powerful, it's very granular, but it's cloud hosted, so it's as easy as going and logging onto a web page. A few of the clients that we've worked with have very varied environments where they need to monitor a variety of devices. One example is a company in Austin, Texas, who is using Pulse to monitor the health of a few point-of-sale systems in their stores and restaurants. And they need something that's easy to deploy, quick, and can give them a dashboard of all of the devices in their store so that they can quickly act on any discrepancies or any errors or slowdowns in their network so that their customers aren't left waiting at the counters while they're trying to purchase their food and their goods and their services. So Pulse for them was a no-brainer, and they essentially it's hard. You can't afford not to have that kind of monitoring in place.
Fantastic. Sounds like a great example. What we're going to do now is we're going to show live how to do this. So what I'm going to do is share my screen. So it's real easy to get started with TrueSight Pulse. You just enter basic information here. So I'm just going to create a fictitious account. And when you sign up, you don't have to wait for an email. You just get started right away. And what we're going to do is show you how you can add a meter to a server. In this case, we'll say our server is running a web server for our application. So what we're going to do is just give a little instruction here to set up the meter. So I'm going to click set up the meter here, and Click on Settings. Copy this curl script. So copy. And then let me share where I have my Linux server running. I'm going to paste the script in there. Just click Return, and then we get a confirmation that the meter has been installed successfully. And what we'll do is go back to our screen now and see. So there, we've started monitoring this server, and we can see it show up in our dashboard here. And then, like we said, this is Agile monitoring. So what we'll want to do now is add a plugin where we can, associated with this meter, check the endpoints of a critical application. Like, for example, the login page, or for a stock quoting application, it could be, selecting quotes and then submitting the trades. So I'm going to click here to our plugins, and as you can see, we can get the plugins here. Just click on Get Plugins, and there's a wide range of plugins that we can associate with that meter to do DevOps kind of monitoring with Docker, Kafka, Cassandra. What we're going to be highlighting today is the HTTP check plugin. So what I do is I click on that. Gives us some information about the plugin, what you're going to be able to see. We're going to find response times for the endpoints of a critical application. I'll click Install, and what this does is associate this plugin now with our SaaS app that we just got started. So I'm going to add it to this meter. So we add the plugin HTTP check, and right away we can start configuring it. So I'm going to add one endpoint, which is going to be the home page, and we'll give it a URL. So I have one endpoint for the home page. We'll add another for trading. So we can call it trading. Okay. And then we'll add one more endpoint for purchasing. All right. So we've created those, and we're going to save this. Just double checking we got everything set up here. We click Save. And now this plugin will go out and find the response times for those critical endpoints of this web application, and we can integrate with TrueSight Pulse with any of your DevOps sharing tools to get notified if any one of these is slow. So it looks like we've got them started, and each plugin comes with a dashboard. So we'll see for the HTTP check plugin. Now we can see that we're starting to collect data about those endpoints. So there we have home, purchase, and trading, and each one of these is showing us the response time, so it's a synthetic check of those endpoints. And we did that all in just a few minutes. So I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to Seth Paskin, who is our Solutions Marketing Manager. I can see him sitting up straight now, about ready to maybe summarize some of the key points that we heard today. Take it away, Seth.
Thanks, Patrick. So, we use the term Agile monitoring, and I think I'd like to highlight that Agile has a couple of different axes, if you will. There's Agile in the sense of being easy to deploy, and that was kind of the point we just made when we showed you this demo about how easy it is to get Pulse out there and start monitoring things. And you probably didn't notice if you were just looking at the script running when he ran the curl command to install it on Linux, but what differentiates us, and we've designed this whole solution for low impact, high flexibility, and agility. So the meter is actually coded in C. We built it from the ground up. We're not using an old collect-D. We didn't use Python. Tried to get rid of dependencies, so the meter actually has a Lua interpreter built into it so that it can go ahead and interpret, pull down its own dependencies, set itself up, and you can completely install and remove it without having to manually update any other libraries on your system. That's what we mean when we talk about agility. And then, of course, our plugins, the meter itself is designed, it can essentially process any metrics that you want to send it. So you can instrument any application pretty much in any piece of infrastructure any way you want that throws off metrics and feed it into the meter. So we've written 50 or so plugins that Patrick showed you, but agility here doesn't just mean easy to get going with, but also easy to use in a variety of other contexts that you want to use it in. Another part of agility is making sure that you can deploy it across multiple infrastructures. So we showed you an example in AWS. It works just fine on on-premise. And if you run the Windows installer, it'll run on Windows as well as Linux. And then, of course, you can refer to one of Patrick's other videos where he's done work showing how Pulse data can be fed into our existing operations management suite, which is another way that we talk about agility, because operations management is a full stack application and infrastructure, logs and events monitoring tool that has predictive analytics, a whole bunch of other capabilities. And those are things that you can take advantage of in conjunction with Pulse. And that's another way that we mean it when we talk about Agile monitoring.
All right, Seth. Thank you very much. So you really helped us summarize even more about what Agile means, especially for BMC. So if you haven't started a free trial yet, make sure you go ahead and try TrueSight Pulse at TrueSightPulse.bmc.com. And you can get started right away. So thank you both, Gene and Seth. Gene, I see you have a smile on your face. You want to say one more thing before we go, just to close us out?
Just want to encourage everyone to check this out. You get 14 days to explore Pulse, and it's the full function, full feature version. So have fun, install any plugins that you want. You can install up to 20 meters and monitor all those devices and stream plenty of metrics. So it should give you a great snapshot of the value that you will get from Pulse. So I just encourage everyone to try it out.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, and until next time.